Hello, hello! Welcome back to another CNC project video with Legacy Woodworking machinery. For years, when I've produced double-sided parts, I've followed the exact same setup procedures. Today, I realized I don't always have to. By changing one small detail in the way I program this part, I eliminated several setup steps, made the process much more forgiving, and still produced the exact same finished result. Today I'm machining the bottom rail for the lower cabinet's front face frame on our convertible China hutch project. It's the last rail we need before we can dry fit the entire face frame together. Let's head on over to the CNC machine and I'll show you what I discovered. I'm starting with an oversized blank mounted to the horizontal workstation using Legacy's T-slot table and low pro clamps. Since the only operation on this side is the dado, I'll reference my Z0 from the top surface with the Smart Tool measurement system. Normally, I'd already be thinking about how I'm going to re-establish X and Y after flipping the part. This time, I wasn't. The only thing that really matters is that the dado finishes the correct distance from the bottom of the finished rail. So instead of stopping the dado inside the part, I simply extended it beyond both ends of my oversized blank. That one decision changed everything. Now the X position of the blank isn't nearly as critical because the final profile cut will establish the finished length later. Sometimes the easiest way to increase accuracy isn't by chasing tighter tolerances. It's by designing the process so those tolerances don't matter nearly as much. With the first side complete, it's time to flip the part. Traditionally, I'd establish a new X and Y zero here because slight differences in blank size can throw the second side out of alignment. But because the dado extends beyond both ends of the blank, I don't have to. I simply flip the blank end for end, register the same edge against the fence, and only re-establish my Z0. This time, I reference from the bottom of the material because I'm controlling the thickness that's left behind, not simply the depth of the cut. Before cutting the rabbets, I added one more toolpath. Those small relief pockets remove the vulnerable edge grain before the profile reaches it, reducing the chance of tear out. Experience has taught me it's almost always faster to prevent a problem than repair one later. With the relief pockets complete, the rabbets are next. Now the final profile establishes the outside shape, cuts the female isolock joints, and trims away the extra material on the blank. This is where the new strategy proves itself. The oversized blank has done its job. Now it becomes the finished part. Sometimes the best fixture isn't the one that demands perfect setup. It's the one that gives you enough flexibility that small setup variations simply don't matter. After removing the tabs on the bandsaw and cleaning them up with the flush trim router, it's time for the dry fit. The first joint immediately told me something wasn't quite right. One of the male isolock joints had developed a small split in the grain, making it just wide enough that it didn't want to slide into the matching female joint. Fortunately, this wasn't a machining issue. It was simply the wood reminding me that it's still a natural material. A quick squeeze with the clamp closed the crack, the joint fit perfectly, and once everything is glued together, the glue will reinforce that split. Now the full face frame comes together for the first time. The isolock joints align beautifully, the rabbet joints are flush, and every dado lines up exactly where it should. That's when you know the planning paid off. Looking back, today's improvement didn't come from using a new cutter, a feed rate, or a different machine. It came from looking at the problem differently. Instead of making the setup more precise, I changed the strategy so that the setup didn't need to be nearly as precise. That's what I love about CNC woodworking, and no matter how long you've done it, there is always a better way waiting to be discovered. Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever found a simpler or more forgiving way to produce a part? Share those ideas, comments, and experiences right down below. We really enjoy going through those comments, not only because they help inspire future videos, but they help answer questions for woodworkers and other CNC users. Now, this next part may not be for you, but we do have project plans available on Legacy's website at legacywoodworking.com/projects. And we'll leave the link in the video description below. But we also have a full calendar schedule of upcoming hands-on workshops where you can register and come to our Legacy facility. You'll learn directly from our team, build real projects, and discover how shops across the country are using the Maverick CNC to produce furniture, cabinetry, architectural millwork, and custom woodworking products faster than ever before. Whether you're looking to grow your business, increase production, or simply build better projects, the Maverick CNC was designed to help you get there. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, and you know what to do if you want to be notified when new videos come out. If you are new to this channel, just click that subscription button. Now in the next video, we're going to be gluing up the entire face frame, as well as producing the bottom and back panels so that we can bring the entire lower cabinet structure together. It's going to be awesome. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in that next video.